Today is the second day in October 2023. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Vaso Obaseki, and it's been my pleasure since 2021 to bring you um, my podcast, basically Reality's Diary. And I know 2023 has been an off and on year for me, but I try as much as possible to be more frequent. I have missed you guys, and it's been an off and on period for me, from work to family to relationships with people to spiritual life and all that. Sometimes you just want to do certain things, and you have to go through certain channels, and you know it almost feels tasking to have these things pile up on your plate whilst you have just 24 hours. So yeah, it's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful year so far. It's been somewhat of a um, it's a blessed year. It's been a blessed year for me. It's been eventful and blessed at the same time. Um, yeah. Anyways, I want to talk about something really, really close to home and something really personal. And I was having a chat with a friend some days back, and we talked about life. We talked about career. We talked about a lot of things. But one thing that stood out for me in the midst of our conversation is holding on to things, or either having the courage to let go, or having the strength to hold on to things, people, places, career, jobs, relationships, whatnot, what have you, whatever it is, holding on or letting go. Sometimes because of your experience, because of how much you've experienced, or because of the particular phase you get to meet in one's life, it's somewhat difficult to either choose between letting go or staying, especially when you think you're making good progress. you know there's a good progress and there's bad progress. You could actually be walking forward and say, oh yes, good progress, and you could be walking backward, but because you think you're moving, you think that you're making progress. Sometimes your movements are not aligned to the direction you are meant to. So basically, I just want to talk about letting go or holding on. It's pretty much a dicey topic, and reason why it's a dicey sensitive topic is because depends on your experience, depends on where you are, who you are. Since it's a very relative topic, I'll just give you a few things to think about when you either decide to let go or decide to hold on. So letting go ultimately comes with a lot of pain. Pain of the memories you've shared with such a thing. It could be your relationship, it could be your job, it could be maybe a congregation. Letting go maybe of your favorite TV. I remember when I let go of my PlayStation 4. It felt cool at the beginning, but in the end I started missing it. Yeah, this was some months back. This like last year. Um, one of the reasons why I let go of my PlayStation 4 was because I needed to concentrate on work and needed to focus on work. It was a huge distraction for me, you know. Um, I've let go of a lot of people. I've let go of a lot of things. I've let go a lot of environments. I used to tell my friends that one of my therapy is traveling. One of the things that gives me wellness, gives me, rejuvenates me. Let me use the word, is traveling. And um, so when you talk about holding on, or we're talking about letting go. So we talk about letting go. There is always there are always memories attached. I was talking to a friend of mine few hours ago. God bless you, Collins. I was talking to him, and we discussed about the career he was, his career, the business, the organization he worked with, rather, and talked about how he had to quit, had to walk away, for improvement. Of course, he also talked about the fact that there are things he's very sure he would have achieved if he was still there. But on the flip side, he has some other things that he has achieved that he would never have achieved whilst being there. So you see, there are perks to letting go. But depends on how attached you are to these things. You have to consider several factors. Is it bringing you? Is it edifying you? Are there more opportunities, or is this all you get to have? Do you think you are valued less in where you are, or do you think the value can increase? I know there are organizations where they make promises, or there are relationships where promises are being made, and you don't get to see the outcome of this promise immediately. So things to look out for is, does this person keep his or her promise? The organization, do they keep their promises? Do they have a track record of keeping their promises? um, is there a potential in holding on, sorry, in letting go, rather? Is there a potential? Would you get better outside, or would you keep wishing that you were back where you were? Or are you stuck in a place where you feel like, if I stay longer, if I stay longer, I, hmm, you know, so you have to let go? Or are you just being blinded by your emotions, or by the phase you are at that point in time? That Are you blinded by the emotions or the phase you are, that you feel that letting go would be the best option? Or have you gotten better offers out there that you feel the best option is to let go? And I'm talking about both your relationships, both your um, uh, organizational relationship, romantic relationships, places you've been, sentimental things you have attachments to. But one thing about letting go is, we never know what the outcome would have been if we didn't let go. So it's usually a dicey situation, and you might just have to trust God that it's the best option. And I'm not saying trust your heart can deceive you. I'm not saying trust friends can deceive you. Oh, I have a story of a guy who got promised a job by an employer, and this employer, after 3 months, let go of the person. And it was so devastating because he came from an organization where he was well known, where he was excelling, where he had potentials, and he was enticed by this new organization where, well, with money and prospects, and in 3 months, just 3 months, really, they kicked him out. So yeah, um, these are things that you we tend to overlook. The place we are going to is better than where we are coming from. They say the devil you know is better than the angel you do not know. When you're letting go, is it the best option for you? Are you being selfish, or are you thinking about the impact your exit will make on the organization, or the person, or the space, or the item? Okay, let's talk about holding on. Sometimes we rather, like I used the illustration, the devil you know is better than the angel you do not know. Holding on, sometimes you might be holding on too tightly to certain things that, there's this illustration that I used to have back then. This tug of war. I don't know if you guys know tug of war. Tug of war, where you hold on to the rope and you pull your opponent towards you. But there is a point at which you where your opponent pulls, because most times the way I do tug of war, I don't hold the rope on it. I will turn, maybe if I'm at the back, the last person, I wrap the rope around my hands, and then to pull, to be more sturdy. So when you pull, the rope is not falling off your hands, compared to those at the middle that they can't, you know. So sometimes there are pressures that letting go of the rope um, might be the best bet so you don't lose your hands. Sometimes holding on to it might give courage to those around you and say, "Oh, you did well." One of the things that I I I used to be in the past, that I have been praying that God restores, is a fixer. I tend to fix a lot of things. I tend to try to fix a lot of things, brokenness, broken relationships. And I say it's fixed. When I say it's broken, when I see something broken, I try to fix it. It's a gift. I'm not saying that it's a good gift all round, but it has its advantages and disadvantages. More advantages than disadvantages, though. You know, even if you can never restore things back to how they were in the beginning, and like the illustration of the plate, once it's broken, it can never come back to its normal shape. It will have to assume a different shape. So, in case of relationships, sometimes holding on can be detrimental to the both parties, but also sometimes depends on how open-minded you are, and not being um, delusional about certain things. You might be exposing yourself to your partner in ways that your partner can save you, both can save yourselves. Holding on can sometimes help you to see the worst of your partner, even if the scars will never go, the hurt might never ever leave. But now you know a part of this person or this organization that not everybody knows, especially when there has been promises and you've known that this person makes good of their promises. There's been promise of growth, promise for change. um, everybody is selfish. Everybody is selfish. We always want to look out for ourselves, and most times the companies want to look out for themselves. The other partner want to look out for his or herself. So holding on sometimes can be so wonderful. Depends on the kind of relationship you have with both the thing and the people and all. I had okay, like my illustration of the PlayStation. I actually sold it. I sold my PlayStation last year. I didn't need the money. I just wanted to sell it. So I had sold it to someone at a very ridiculously cheap price, and barely a month or 2 weeks afterwards, somebody came begging to buy it at a better price than I sold it. And I was almost regretting, oh, I should have given this person because he's close to me and all that. So these are one of the things that holding on can actually help you to achieve just a few more seconds, maybe a few more days, maybe a few more months, a few more conversations might just open up that hidden treasure. And when it comes to relationships, it's I would say it's selfish of one partner to hold on to information that would have likely helped the other partner evolve and be a better person, and then you suddenly want to just walk away, and you feel like, oh, letting go is the best option. No, holding on sometimes, if you're not able to be vulnerable with your partner, then you shouldn't even be together in the first place. I'm talking about partnership now, relationships. So for the companies or organizations, if the organizations can be open with you and say, look, I've worked in an organization where the head of my resource told me, she said, look, the company is going broke, and because of the way things have been, there's very poor turnout. So there might even be pay cuts and all that. I could understand, because now the company is being open and telling me, oh, these are what it is that they are experiencing. Although I had to leave too, I left the company not because of the bankruptcy or the pay cut or anything, but because I needed to leave at that point in time to focus on my education and all that. That had nothing to do with my career. So all I'm saying is, it's okay to let go, but before you let go, you should sometimes evaluate where you're letting go, who you're letting go of. Are these people promise worthy? Do they have good characters or good standing? I know of a relationship where the lady was always thinking that her head was always put on a pike, spike, or whatever they call a pike. And on the flip side, it wasn't really as illustrated. That was just a perception. And if they had moved forward a bit, I'm almost too sure, with the whole illustration that I had from both parties, I was almost too sure that if they had moved on a little bit and was more open in their conversations and more sincere, they would have made it work. And I suspected that either of the parties, they had other options, so they had to walk away. So are you letting go of something good because of a flaw, or are you holding on to something just because of some little good that you see in it, a potential that might not necessarily be a potential? Which of these are you doing? You need to sit back, evaluate, think thoroughly about your decisions, think about it critically, see it, open it, and be sure that you are not the problem. When I mean you're not the problem of either letting go or staying, you're not the problem in the sense that if you are sure you have satisfied all conditions on your own side, you have talked, you have been open, been vulnerable, I'm talking about generally now, not just in relationships. You've been vulnerable and you're going to express your standing in the sense that you will be able to tell the person that, oh, or the people or organization that, oh, look, if I am able to get this done, I will stay. And you've also been able to um, be patient with the person. You're not just looking out for the next exit. The next time this person does this thing, I'm out. The next time this organization does this thing, I'm out. Without these people even knowing. If you have satisfied all this condition, then sure, it's okay to stay or okay to let go. But before you do that, try not to be the bad guy. Try not to be the one that could have made a difference but did not. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you that letting go and staying are two sides of a sword, and either of them is good and bad. Depends on where you are and where you are coming from. My name is Vaso Basaki again, and I love you. God loves you more. I'll see you some other time. Have a good day.